Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most incredible, yet often forgotten, survival techniques from World War II. Imagine this. You're a soldier. Enemy patrols are everywhere, and your very life depends on vanishing into thin air. But there's no magic, no high-tech gadgets, just earth, snow, and silence. This, my friends, is the story of the invisible shelter. During World War II, from the frozen forests of Finland to the dense jungles of the Pacific, soldiers mastered the art of disappearing. They built handcrafted hideouts so effective that entire units could lie hidden just meters from enemy eyes, completely unseen and unheard. It's a testament to human ingenuity under pressure, a masterpiece of fieldcraft where blending in wasn't just a tactic, it was survival itself. Stay with me, because this is truly fascinating. By 1942, every side in the global conflict understood one undeniable truth. Mobility and stealth were paramount for survival. A tiny glint from a canteen, a wisp of smoke from a fire, or even a misplaced piece of gear could give away an entire position, leading to devastating consequences. So, soldiers began to innovate, crafting shelters that defied detection. These weren't built from steel or canvas like your typical military structures. Oh no, these were woven from the very fabric of nature itself. The guiding principle was brutally simple: blend in completely, or be found. And being found often meant the end. This desperate need sparked an incredible evolution in fieldcraft, turning ordinary soldiers into masters of concealment. The invisible shelter wasn't some grand design drafted in a factory or blueprinted by engineers. It was born purely from necessity, improvised by soldiers on the ground who needed to vanish in a heartbeat. They developed an almost primal connection to the land, learning to read it like skilled hunters. A dip in the ground, a thicket of bushes, a fallen tree, or a snowbank. These weren't just features of the landscape. They were invitations. They saw them as pre-existing foundations for their temporary homes. The ultimate shelter, they discovered, was one already half-built by nature itself. The philosophy that saved countless lives was this: work with the terrain, not against it. It was about adapting, observing, and becoming one with the environment. The first and most critical step in building one of these invisible shelters was location, location, location. A soldier would meticulously scout for uneven terrain, a gentle slope, a natural hollow, or a patch of dense, irregular undergrowth. Flat, open ground was the absolute enemy, a death trap. Shadows and irregular shapes, however, were their best allies. Once a suitable spot was identified, they'd dig a shallow trench, just long enough for their body, and crucially, no deeper than their knees. Digging any deeper would expose too much fresh soil, a telltale sign that could betray their presence. The base of this trench was then carefully lined with dry grass, pine needles, or moss for insulation. Comfort wasn't the goal here. Absolute concealment was everything. Once the trench was ready, the next step was building the roof. A light frame was ingeniously constructed using saplings or flexible branches, arched low to ensure an incredibly subtle, invisible profile. Over this simple frame, if a soldier was lucky enough to possess one, went a poncho, a waxed sheet, or a tarp. But the real magic happened next: the camouflage. Layers of local materials like earth, moss, grass, leaves, or even broken twigs were meticulously arranged. The key was to mimic the natural texture and patterns of the surrounding ground so perfectly that the shelter became an extension of the landscape. The best of these shelters were so unbelievably convincing that even seasoned scouts could walk directly over them without ever suspecting a thing. It was a quick, simple, and terrifyingly effective method. A true masterpiece of fieldcraft born out of sheer desperation. In the brutal Arctic fronts, places like Finland, Norway, and the vast stretches of Russia, soldiers adapted the same principle to the harsh realities of snow and ice. They dug what they called snow holes. These were narrow, coffin-like burrows, expertly carved into deep snow drifts. They'd line the inside with branches for some insulation and then seal the entrance with snow caps, becoming completely enclosed. The insulating power of packed snow was astonishing. Temperatures inside these cocoons of survival could remain just above freezing, even when it was a bone-chilling 20 degrees Celsius outside. These shelters were silent, invisible, and offered precious refuge. There were no fires, no light, just the warmth of their own body heat and an abundance of patience. Soldiers could remain hidden for hours, sometimes even days, as enemy patrols unknowingly passed right above them. The invisible shelter wasn't just about visual camouflage, it was also a masterclass in thermal camouflage. A campfire, even a small, seemingly insignificant one, could be a death sentence. The telltale curl of smoke, the distinct smell, or even a subtle heat contrast was enough for enemy scouts or early aircraft detection to pinpoint a position. So, soldiers learned to survive without flames, embracing the cold, hard ground as their ally. The earth itself became their insulation, efficiently absorbing and trapping precious body heat. Without the giveaway signs of smoke or firelight, they became invisible not only to the human eye, but also to nascent infrared detection technologies. The ground, a silent, steadfast companion, became their ultimate shield, allowing them to disappear in ways previously unimaginable. From the steaming jungles of the Pacific to the frozen forests of Eastern Europe, each army, each soldier, adapted the invisible shelter to their specific environment. American Marines, for example, expertly wove palm fronds and mud into their jungle hideouts. Soviet partisans became masters of creating burrows hidden beneath massive fallen logs. German and Finnish troops, facing brutal winters, used snow and branches to blend seamlessly into the white landscape. Different techniques? Yes, but one powerful shared principle. Don't fight nature. Instead, become an integral part of it. What's truly amazing is that even today, modern special forces and dedicated bushcraft experts still train with these very same methods. Why? Because they still work. The fundamental principles remain as effective as ever. If you ever find yourself out in the wild, whether you're training, camping, or in a survival situation, those WWII rules for the invisible shelter still apply with surprising relevance. First, always look for natural depressions or existing cover instead of clearing open ground. It's less work and much more discreet. Second, keep your shelter low to the ground and ensure its shape is irregular, mimicking natural forms. Third, use only local materials, branches, grass, leaves, or snow, for both your roofing and camouflage. Fourth, and this is crucial, never build large fires near your shelter. Heat and smoke are deadly giveaways. And finally, when you leave, destroy all evidence. Leave no trace behind. Invisibility isn't about magic or complicated tech. It's about understanding how the world perceives things, and, more importantly, how to stop it from seeing you. The invisible shelter truly remains one of World War II's most underrated and ingenious inventions. It saved countless lives not through advanced technology or intricate tools, but through simple knowledge, keen observation, and raw human instinct. It taught soldiers a profound lesson. Survival wasn't about trying to dominate nature. It was about cooperating with it, becoming a part of its intricate tapestry. And even today, that powerful lesson stands strong. When all else fails, the simplest solution is often the strongest, most enduring one, because sometimes the very best way to emerge victorious is to simply disappear. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into WWII's history and survival. If you found this as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button, subscribe for more incredible stories, and let me know in the comments what other forgotten wartime innovations you'd like to explore. Your support means the world.